Track 32, Read Less. I wanted something at the end of the album to just be a bit of something else. I get this from Birtwistle, actually. Harrison Birtwistle's not necessarily my favourite composer, but I remember vividly him coming to talk at the Academy, and I remember being really inspired by his seminars and by his music in a way, although it's not my favourite music. And one of the things he said was he liked to... He felt that people were obsessed with having the end of the piece of... creating a piece of music what ends, and the ending is like a summary of what we've had, or like a natural rounding off bit. And he said that he liked to finish a piece of music, a longer piece of music, with a bit of something else, and then finish, as like a resistance to the kind of more natural tendency to close the piece off. And I just really liked that, and it's something that I find other people doing. I feel like Kanye West does it there's a couple of Kanye West albums where I feel like he does it. He does it on Teyana Taylor, the record he produced for Teyana Taylor does this a little bit. And that it just, the last track doesn't fit with any of the rest of it. And it does have this kind of interesting effect. And then whoosh, chop at the end. And that's what it is. The recording is of church bells. And I just heard these church bells that were doing things that I liked, and I just held up my phone, recorded the church bells, and that's almost it. They're then manipulated along the lines of, there's a computer game called Braid, and in this game you go at when you play with time in the game, and as you play with time, when you can kind of slow down time, and when you slow down time, the soundtrack slows down and you get those half speed where it drops an octave, and it's wonderful, and there's a little bit of a nod to that as well. Read Less is something you see on social media stuff. If you can imagine, you have a comment like this, and you can do read more, and then you can click read less to come back, and just taking that and then looking at those words at face value and connecting those words, read less, to a general view on the world that I don't feel like I've seen this until I've been an adult, and until teaching kids who don't read so well, who don't read, the problems that illiteracy causes. And it's so cliched, and it's kind of boring. I remember being taught, hearing this from adults as a child, saying, "Oh, you've got to read, you've got to read, you've got to read." But it's all true. We have to be reading. It's this extremely special thing, and you learn things about yourself that you develop as a child. I can see this now as a teacher, that you develop as a child if you do spend some a bit of time every day reading. It has this priceless effect. And then you can look at the other end of things. So if you look at kids, and then we look at the end of, in terms of power in society, and you look at someone like this phenomenon, Donald Trump, coming in 2016, and I feel like if he wasn't so illiterate, I don't know if he's literally illiterate, but whatever. I'm referring to his obsession with watching the shows and his sort of lifestyle. I feel like lots of his intemperance and his inability to string a sentence together, and all of this stuff comes from illiteracy, I feel. And I wonder about how many problems around the world would be solved if we increased our literacy.